A man who has lived in the United States illegally for 2 decades can now practice law. The California Supreme Court granting his license unanimously yesterday. It is the latest in a string of victories for undocumented immigrants. Advocates say they hope this case will open doors for millions of others pursuing careers in fields like medicine and education. So let's bring in our legal panel, former prosecutor Tom Caniff and California defense attorney Brian Claypool. Thank you for joining us. So a 1996 federal law bars people who are in the U.S. illegally from receiving professional licenses from a government agency, unless the state votes to grant them. So California lawmakers recently approved a law that authorizes the state to give law licenses to illegal immigrants, and that law took effect on New Year's Day. So the state's highest court said, based on that new law, it had no choice but to uphold the granting of that license. Brian, what are the implications here?
Well, Patty, first of all, a Happy New Year, by the way.
Thank you. Same to you.
Speaking of the New Year, I think Eric Holder from the U.S. Attorney General's office needs to make a New Year's resolution that he's not going to waste the taxpayers' money anymore by fighting frivolous claims like this. Clearly, the state law allowed the Bar Committee to issue a license to Sergio Garcia. So why the U.S. Department of Justice intervened, I have no idea other than to promote a political agenda. And shame on the U.S. Department of Justice for doing that and raining on Garcia's parade. The implications of this are widespread because other states are going to follow in California's path and allow non-U.S. citizens, for example, to practice medicine and other professions. So there are wide-ranging implications. But I think this was the right ruling.
All right. So, Tom, federal law still makes it illegal for other firms to hire the man, Sergio Garcia. He can start his own practice, but then it's not clear whether he can argue in federal court or in other states. So does this create a lot of problems?
It creates a lot of problems. I mean, first I want to say, look, this young man's journey is admirable. I personally think that he should be allowed to practice law in California and any other state that deems him qualified. However, we shouldn't be putting the cart before the horse. We should not be admitting to the state bar in California or anywhere else in the United States individuals who are not legally documented to work here in the United States. Why? Because it undermines the public confidence in our legal system. We have the best legal system in the world. We have the best lawyers in the world, if I do say so myself. And there is a certain amount of prestige and exclusivity attached to that. If aspiring law students, aspiring college students, talented individuals feel that the prestige of the legal profession is being undermined because of this ruling, is going to dissuade many of those individuals from attempting to become lawyers. And in addition, it's going to undermine the confidence of potential clients when they go to see a lawyer. Hey, is this person even legal to work here in the United States?
Brian, what about that? As Tom said, it is a heartwarming story. Garcia worked in a grocery store and on farms while he was studying. He passed the bar. It's inspirational, except for the part that he's here illegally. Does it send the message that the end justifies the means?
I disagree with Tom. This epitomizes the American dream. And in terms of regulating lawyers and their background and whether they're going to be competent or not, I've been practicing law for a few years and I've met a lot of bad lawyers out there who are not illegal immigrants. So I don't think that's the issue at all. The complaint I always hear, Patty, is, oh, all these immigrants come from other countries. They sap our system. They waste taxpayer money. They rape our medical benefit system. But here we have a perfect role model for not only the Hispanic community, but for all races. Come to the U.S., work hard. He worked 2 jobs. He worked on an almond farm. He worked at a grocery store.
Brian, let me ask you.
One of the hardest law exams in the country.
Brian, when you took the oath to be admitted to practice law, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the United States. How does this individual, who by his own admission has been living here illegally for his entire life, get past that oath?
Because the problem is not with Sergio Garcia, it's with the existing federal law.
So he gets to choose the laws that he follows and ones he doesn't?
All right. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to cut you off there. All good questions, though, and we'll see whether other states follow suit. Tom Caniff, Brian Claypool, thank you both for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
A hide-and-seek game.